thousands of years ago, they were Apollo, Zeus, Ares. Now they are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the other heroes and villains of DC and Marvel Comics. Join us every week as we discuss the legendary stories, characters, concepts, and other parts of comics as we examine the modern pantheon of heroes. Let's get heroic. Welcome to Under Two Capes, the podcast for the comic book fan. Welcome to Under Two Capes. I am Jared.
And I'm Lad.
First off, yes, exactly. Welcome back to the show, Nicholas. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Now, okay, so today we're gonna talk. We have a more of a discussion topic in there, but first I want to address this rumor. There's a rumor that Warner Brothers is seriously considering that if Snyder's cut does well next week, he will get part 2 and part 3.
I mean, I could totally see it happening. I mean, there's a lot of hype around this movie. Like, the trailer has 20 million views plus on the YouTube channel. Like, that's
and it's getting good critical reviews. Everyone that has seen it early is like, this is amazing.
Really?
So I'm like, please, God, do this.
I mean, I could see it happening.
And then, there's a rumor. There's a rumor. It's a loose rumor, but it's that Warner Brothers wants him to direct Wonder Woman 3.
Oh, really? Instead of Patty Jenkins?
Well, remember, Wonder Woman 1984 is very controversial, and that was her completely. Where
Right.
Wonder Woman 1, which was perfect, he was involved.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So they're probably like, we might as well just make him do it. Which I'm not sure how you feel about a director losing their. Well, here's the thing. She's doing Star Wars now, so she may not even care. Oh,
that's right. Yeah, she's doing the Rogue Squadron movie, I believe.
Which looks amazing. Which I think is amazing. But if Free Snyder up to do Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
it could be.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. What do you think, other guests?
About the rumor?
Yeah.
Let's see. That would be exciting if he got to work more. If he was the guy on the first Wonder Woman movie and then or partially on that, and then he wasn't there for the second, then as far as I care, that's a testimony he's good because there's a big drop off in quality. Although in certain ways I liked the second movie, but in a lot of ways I didn't. But yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. He did 300, which is more or less thematically on with Wonder Woman. So, and plus, when you listen to interviews now, so Wonder Woman 3 was going to take place modern day. There's no more of this flashback of this prequel BS. What he said is, this is the point where the DCEU is supposed to get super hopeful. So it's not necessarily going to be super dark like BVS.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I want that.
You want it to be really dark and where is he? Where is
Why'd you say that name?
Yeah.
All I want is for all of a sudden, in like a post-credit scene. I just thought of this, Lad. So remember how there was a rumor that the Snyder cut was going to like have this crazy cameo that's going to blow everyone's minds?
Yeah.
What if in the post-credit scene, all you see is a blue glow? What if it's Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen? Because Snyder did Watchmen.
He did do that movie, right? They could they could do something really crazy. This movie is like an entire like love letter to the fans, or just really giving people that are really into the lore something exciting that's true to the canon, that has lots of good references and characters. I wouldn't be surprised if he really treats the fans and puts something in there like really teasing toward the future.
Let me put it this way: Joker was not in the original movie. Even in his version of the movie, he did that anyway. Which thank you so much, because if there's anyone that Zack Snyder can do well, it's the Clown Prince of Crime. And Deathstroke with the mohawk and everything looks like amazing. By the way, so Darkseid, he looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And he
not
sounds just like I always imagined he would sound if he were real.
Yep.
Ray
Nicholas,
Porter nailed it.
Have you seen the latest trailer, Nicholas, or just like the big trailer?
I've seen a trailer and not the latest one, but yeah, I saw a little bit of Darkseid in there. Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so great because they improved the VFX on the shot from the original DC Fandom trailer that opens up with Darkseid smacking his axe on the ground.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
But I am so excited. It's gonna have all the New God stuff. It's gonna be super cool. Which I was thinking about it. I like how they made him more alien because in the comics the New Gods relatively look human. I like how he made them more alien.
Yeah, less human.
Because you're like, because I always thought reading it, I was like, why does Steppenwolf look like us?
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that where the aliens look very too humanish.
Well, can't you say that about Superman?
That's true. That's actually true. That's interesting how a lot of the aliens in comic books look exactly like us.
Well, it could. I don't know if they're doing this, but they could work in like a convergence story, like how there's something special about the human body type or something. Not even humans themselves. It's like someone else.
That's true.
Great,
a god being.
There's some kind of convergence to perfection. I mean, they could. And that's why so many species look like humans.
He did say in the movie at the end, now I'm going to go create. I'm like, there you go, man. If they look this way, if after the Snyder cut, all of a sudden they add on to their film slate, Doomsday Clock, I would be like, watch the internet melt down.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, they could do something really hype.
They can still do the Black Superman movie because it's in the freaking multiverse. They already said Snyder stuff is Elseworlds now.
Well, what do you think? Do you think Cavill's out, or do you think that they're just gonna?
No, I don't think he's out. I honestly don't think. I think it all depends on the Snyder cut. Which let me put it this way: if all the signs are true, it looks like at least that this Snyder cut is gonna be successful. So that will show Warner Brothers. Let's keep Cavill around and let's tell Snyder. Okay, you can go ahead and complete the other two movies, but as long as you put them all on HBO Max, because we need content. And if we announce to people that, hey, we're letting him finish his entire thing, not just JL, the entire thing, that's going to make a lot of so many more people sign up, particularly when you look at how awesome those trailers are. Not a day goes by where I don't watch that trailer at least once.
Yeah, I mean, they've added a lot of content onto there for HBO Max, like a lot of classic DC TV shows. You know, some new exclusive live action TV shows. A couple of those were moved onto there. So they're kind of trying to make that like all things. You know, like what's it, Warner Brothers, DC. You know, like all
this stuff.
Yeah, all merged there.
And they even have a little legit anime on there.
Oh, cool. I mean, if they want to, you got to be able to compete with Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the mouse himself. You know, Disney's got, their Disney properties, Pixar,
Marvel,
National Geographic, Marvel,
particularly Marvel,
Star Wars, and they're producing specialty TV shows
for all that.
For those content, if HBO Max / Warner Times Warner.
Because let me put it this way. The minute you start announcing Justice League 2 and 3 exclusive to HBO Max, guess where all the people are going to go, particularly with all the controversy surrounding Disney Plus. Everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, let's go do this.
Yeah, people will be really hyped for...
Which case, I'm happy because I know a lot of people weren't big fans of Snyder's portrayal of like some of the DC characters. I liked it. I thought it was great. It's a realistic look at these characters. What do you think is going to happen if Superman were real in today's world? They're not just gonna accept him like in Christopher Reeves.
Someone would take a picture of him and they would immediately figure out a secret identity because he's not.
Yeah, I know. I know. I love how in Man of Steel they actually showed Lois Lane knowing that Clark Kent is Superman, like pretty easily, very early in the movie. She's like, "Oh, you're Superman." All right, so on to our topic. So, as comic book fans know, continuity, particularly with properties that have been around for like 80 plus years, is really convoluted. So I thought, how would if the three of us were in charge of DC and Marvel continuity, and we had the opportunity to reboot it, in other words, start from scratch, what would that look like? And then, wait, there's going to be after we have this discussion, it could be in the next part of this episode when we transition over to the new Zoom call, but there's a surprise segment that I had an idea for that we're going to do that links to this topic. So anyway, do you guys want to start with Marvel or DC?
What do you think, Nick?
I would probably want to talk more about DC since that's what I know a lot more of.
All right, cool. All right, so.
But I don't know about who goes first.
Now, it's okay. So lore-wise, so let me see.
I want to bring up the topic of we're considering doing a reboot or kind of like a hard reboot and trying to simplify maybe some story details and
like Flashpoint.
Bring in a new audience.
Imagine a Flashpoint to New 52. That's what we're doing.
This is kind of like
we're not just making yet another alternate universe. This is
this is the main continuity.
We're trying to encompass all oncoming DC products are going to be encompassed in this basically.
Yeah.
Kind of we're like the story design team. We're making the story Bible where they kind of like they create all the ideas from. So imagine like in my head is with Transformers when they did the Energon, Armada Cybertron reboot, or the Fallen War and Transformers Prime, where it was kind of like a hard reboot, and they kind of had a shared, video games, movies, TV show, comics.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reintroduce the storyline to make it appeal to new audiences and bring new people on board.
Yeah, I'm interested in writing, so this ought to be a fun discussion.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay,
let me go first. Okay, so as someone that has read the most of DC stuff lately, normally hard reboots start with a crisis. So I think that's a good place to start. Now, okay, so now the question is, which character would be the whole starting off point of this crisis? I mean, we could do Darkseid, but everyone expects that.
What
could be Dr. Manhattan?
What if
they already did that with Rebirth, though?
I'm not sure how the Flashpoint necessarily worked, but what if it just started off with everything in a new world and everything seems fine, but there's hints throughout the storyline as it develops that there was a crisis, but the reader is not made aware of what caused all this new world to happen. And throughout the story developing, you learn about the history of the world and that this crisis event that like gets revealed over time of how this world came to be. So instead of just upfront doing a crisis and bloating maybe a little too much, like, another crisis, another crisis, take it in a new direction where it's more of like a mystery, like trying to figure out how did this world come into being, on the side of, it's like a slight, it's a small storyline that's going on the side where it becomes more important.
I like that, except here's the issue. When someone opens up the first comic of our new continuity, they're going to be like, what happened?
That's true.
Right.
Because it's if I'm going from... Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Lad's Plan, I was thinking the same thing as you, Jared, but Lad's Plan might work if in the very beginning there was a decent hint that there was a crisis. You'd have to hint that there was one, but not explain the whole thing.
What they could do is in page 1 of the comic, it opens up on like a picture of the multiverse and starts detailing what happened, like saying there was a crisis, it was the multiverse was like screwed up, and then it was rebuilt, and now we're at the new thing.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah. And without giving much detail, but just kind of like there was, like a crisis, or there was an event and reality changed or something like that. Kind of like when you start like a story and it talks about like, the legends and mythos of its past, kind of thinking like Bionicle, where they have like, they say, in the time before time, it talks about kind of like this prophecy of there was a crisis that occurred in the history of this new storyline we're developing. And so kind of giving readers an idea of what happened, but then it allows us to reintroduce new characters with different backstories in the modern day. And then we're going to eventually explain, hey, this is like kind of like the big climax, not really a current crisis, but finding out what happened in the past, like a mystery of why why this occurred.
They're kind of sort of, I mean, they're kind of doing something like that now with Infinite Frontier, because in the first comic, it's like Wonder Woman wakes up, spoilers alert, by the way, and she discovers that that she has ascended to the next plane of existence, and they're showing her, it's specifically through the story, how the new continuity looks and everything. Now, how the new status quo looks. So that kind of works.
I have a question.
Yep.
If we're making a new continuity, why are crises used? I don't get why you have to have one. Is it so that you can retain characters from the old continuity, but somehow work them into the new one?
Basically, what it kind of is that a crisis generally goes like this. You have an incident that happens. It could be like a really ridiculously powerful villain shows up, like Crisis on Infinite Earths. You had the Anti-Monitor. Or it's like some character does something that screws everything up, like Flashpoint. And then that's generally the excuse to like blow up the multiverse. And then the undoing of that creates this new continuity. It's basically to destroy what we have there to rebuild.
It's just so that you can give kind of an ending, even if it's haphazard, to the current continuity, rather than just shutting down all production of comics for no reason.
Exactly. It's easier to transition from a crisis to the new continuity than to just all of a sudden stop that continuity and then just move on.
Yeah, that's interesting. So basically, somebody sets off the universe nuke and pretty much ruins everything.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like a good thing, you know, like a good ending to the crisis, where it's kind of like they save the day, but like
Death Metal.
Everything is restructured, and it's basically kind of like an excuse to have an epic finale, like people dying like lots of heroes like crazy, and then resetting the continuity with no like prior baggage or backstory, and you can bring back all the heroes to life if you want. So it's kind of just like a resetting.
I'm trying to think of who would be a large enough threat, because they already did the Anti-Monitor. They already kind of did Darkseid and Final Crisis. They already did Flash. I mean, if we did Flash, that'd be what everyone would expect.
What if it was
They already
Batman?
kind of did Death Metal.
Okay. I was thinking, Superman.
How would Batman blow up the multiverse?
I don't know, something he did.
It could be Brainiac. It could be. It's actually not like a universe-ending crisis. It's just something that happens on this Earth, like a Brainiac invasion that goes horrible. Maybe like, I'm trying to think. What else can we do? I mean, I know that even in I know they repeated the Flashpoint crisis for the animated movie universe. But let me see. Which other characters? I mean, because obviously we're trying not to rehash a story that's already been done, because that's what everyone would expect us to do.
Right.
Let's see.
We could do. How about this one? So, and this is not a multiverse ending threat. It's just the action that causes whatever reset happens. What if somehow something happens to turn to make Superman go crazy, kind of like in Deceased, and he basically destroys the Earth.
Maybe something like that.
And then what could happen? I mean, this would kind of be Flashpoint. One of the speedsters would go back in time and stop this, or Dr. Manhattan could show up and go, "I gave you a shot."
Right.
He snaps.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could
go ahead.
Oh, thank you. If you wanted to do like a evil Superman ruins everything, maybe he instead of just like destroy everything, maybe he conquers the whole universe or something.
Oh, I got it.
A totalitarian regime that is so thorough that it's basically just the end of everything. It's like
I got it.
Totalitarianism.
What happens is somehow the Superman from Injustice shows up in our world and brings his army with them. There's this big epic war where most of the superheroes are killed, and it's like we would do a Flashpoint where like one of the speedsters has to go back in time. Well, actually, what would he be stopping if like the Superman? Well, maybe it was like a portal opened. Oh no, I got it. Lex Luthor is opening a portal because he figures, hey, I can't beat Superman by myself. What if I have my own Superman? So he opens the portal, and that's how they come in. So Barry Allen, or one of the Flashes, goes back in time to stop Lex Luthor from doing that.
Possibly. I can see something like
that. And then the crisis is every League member pretty much dies. Like Wonder Woman, our Superman, Lantern, Manhunter, like pretty much all the ones that could do something against Injustice Superman are off the table. Even Batman, because obviously because he's Batman, he could take out Superman. We could obviously, and then maybe only Wally West is the one who remains, because we'd probably kill off Barry Allen.
I'm just thinking, if there's what options we have aside from just like, you know, the whole world getting blown up and then it's just like it just comes back together based on cosmic power or time
the world's
travel.
Not blown up.
Well, I'm just saying like I'm just saying like what options do we have other than like, you know, world ending crisis and then, you know, it's brought back into existence by a powerful being or time
there's
travel.
Another option. Okay, so I'm gonna try and pronounce this dude's name.
Yeah.
What's the name of the fifth dimension imp who screws around with Superman?
Mr. Mxyzptlk?
Yeah, he has reality shape bending powers. What if he screws up reality?
Oh, or Batmite.
Or Batmite. One of the imps screws up, because those exist. They screw up reality, and then and they realize what they did, and then maybe something happens. Like maybe he Mxyzptlk is like shot by like one of the big multiversal entities, like the Hand, that were introduced in Death Metal, and that's why it kind of screws up, because he was gonna put everything back to normal. But when he was injured, he kind of like slipped a little bit or something like that. Honestly, that'd be hilarious if that's what happened. He like slipped.
I mean, you're gonna end the whole thing with a Jake, basically, like a big thing.
I mean, Vlad doesn't want to do anything depressing. My idea was to bring in Injustice Superman, where he like rules everyone.
I don't get why. Well, you could have like a good ending. Like, we think of end of time as a bad thing, but like you could have it be an end times, like, I don't know, all evil is finally defeated.
But here's the problem.
No.
If it's a good thing, why are they trying to go back?
Nobody's trying to. Well, okay, look. Okay, Superman keeps on doing his hero stuff, beating more villains, and eventually he basically just becomes a god. And he puts everyone in the universe into like a state of hyperbolis. It's perfect. And he decides to create a new universe. And that's the one that our continuity takes place in.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I kind of like
that's just a suggestion. I'm sorry. I'm saying, you know,
it could be
depressing without being like a joke or something, but I'm not.
That certainly would be a different crisis.
It's a non-crisis.
DC does. It's a non-crisis, yeah.
It's effectively a good ending.
Except here's the thing. Yeah. It would take so long to get to the end of time when Superman has those god powers. You'd have to like have him. You would have to severely rush that, because I assume like hundreds of years happens.
Yeah, you're right, because you
need hundreds of comics to get to that point.
Episodes in comic books where they go to the future and there's like future Justice League or something, so that would all have to still happen. I don't know.
What if it's like Dark Knight's Metal, only it's Superman? Like all the evil versions of Superman, Red Sun, yeah, exactly, Injustice. There's like so many dark multiverse Supermen, and they show up, and it's like an army of Supermen is enough to destroy anything if we're going with the whole destroy option. And then it's like Superman dies, Wonder Woman, because we need a way to take out all the big characters too.
I'm wondering, like,
maybe Manhunter goes evil.
I'm just trying to think of. We've seen a lot of like not natural disaster, but when we had crises, it was like a threat, like anti-monitor, like, you know, like cosmic destruction, and then like, you know, magic, world comes back to normal, or Flashpoint where it was, you know, like the powers. But what if it was this new world was created with technology instead? Like it has a technological origin. Like the reason it happened was because of some sort of machine or some invention that someone created, and it literally.
That's what happens in Infinite Crisis.
Is that what happens in Infinite Crisis?
Earth 3, Lex Luthor builds a machine because he wants to make the perfect Earth. So he starts making worlds. That's how the multiverse comes back. But what I do like, what if just we do this whole storyline where like Earth's sun is dying or something like that. Like something happens where the Earth is going to be destroyed. So they're trying to build to like build like a machine that would be able to transport to like rebuild the Earth. I mean, just like reignite the sun, but like the sun explodes, and then we can do it where, because it's DC and you know this stuff happens all the time, there's an entity within the sun.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like any of the Lantern Corps that's like, I'm not, that's like, it's so sad everyone died. Undo.
Yeah. There could be different ways to. That could be why we just leave it kind of like in the beginning.
I guess just leave it ambiguous and say something. It's the unknown crisis.
Yeah.
We'll just do that.
It's ultimate. My idea is like a cop out. We don't have to worry about
cop
it.
Out. Everyone's gonna be on the forum saying, "I can't believe they didn't write a crisis." Obviously, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go. You go.
Obviously, at some point down the road, we would actually write the crisis story once we get the idea of what the crisis is.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of tricky because you don't want to just copy previous crises, but you want to have like the epic battle where heroes have their epic deaths and that kind of thing. I'll tell you what. To at least give some kind of closure.
Let's work backwards. Let's start with what the new continuity looks like, and then we can see if that inspires us on a crisis.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to go character by character?
Yeah, that's probably a good way to go about it.
And now, here's the thing: are we pulling a new 52 where all the heroes are younger?
Probably safe bet, honestly.
Yeah, because there's younger fans coming in, and it allows them to see more of themselves in the heroes. Obviously, not too young, but probably like what they did in New 52.
Young adults.
Like their 20s.
Yeah, all like in their 20s or something like that. And then what they can do is, okay, so for Superman, I liked the Kryptonian armor he was wearing. Although we could play around with the color scheme, like have it be because it's the sun, maybe. I mean, I'm not sure, because I was thinking taking the yellow from the shield and making that the overall color of the suit, and then putting blue around the S, but I think that would look kind of weird.
We need drawing. We need. I didn't realize we can have creative.
We need Jim Lee on this up. We need Jim Lee.
I didn't know we would go as far as to change the primary colors on the superhero. Right. Like that's.
Let's focus on.
I mean, let's set out our goals for this continuity. Here's one: how recognizable? Well, how recognizable do we want the heroes to be to the audience?
I mean, obviously, we're keeping all the logos because that's how we know these people are them, and then probably the same power set, more or less, pretty much.
Yeah. So it's not. So then we probably wouldn't want to make major color scheme changes. Sort of play on the thing, but to a limited degree.
We'll end in 10 minutes. But anyway, go ahead, lad.
If we're doing Superman, I want to make a backstory change that I think would be really cool for later storylines.
Me too. I had one too, but go ahead.
That Krypton is not blowing up. That Krypton does not blow up in the story, where they sent him to like escape some sort of problem, like made natural disasters on the Earth, on Krypton, but it doesn't actually blow up. So all that is still there, and it's, they're not interacting with Earth, but they're there. So because I want to do like,
plus we can have a dope story where the Kryptonians invade Earth.
Exactly, that's what I want to do. I want to.
There you go. That's great. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Superman is the
How
son
about
of
this?
Earth.
How
Right?
about this? They launch him into space because Zod wins.
Maybe something like that. Yeah,
And they're trying to save him, and then later on down the road, Zod invades Earth.
something like that. And it's like, Superman's torn because he's a child of Earth, but he's also a child of Krypton.
Yes.
So whose side is he gonna lie on? His people or or the Earth people. And so Krypton is still very much around. And I want maybe Krypton and their technology to have effects on it.
I had an idea. So what if for the way the Kryptonian invasion ends is that Superman has to destroy Krypton?
That'd be kind of sad.
Like if we go in with the destruction of Krypton, but somehow Zod rigged it with like a bunch of nukes, so it would like destroy Earth as well.
Oh man, that'd be so depressing.
So
that'd be like
Superman has to choose between Earth or Krypton, and then he does the whole Krypton had its chance.
That'd be like Man of Steel plus Transformers. Was it Dark of the Moon in one?
That's what popped in my mind.
But in that case, Superman's not destroying the chance of recreating a Krypton. He's destroying a populated planet.
That's true. He wouldn't do that. He would not do that.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into that much of the detail of that, but just kind of like the backstory of Superman is that he's from Krypton, but Krypton's not gone, and maybe he's like aware of that, but he doesn't know how to get back. He's on Earth, and he can go in space
as the 20-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Like he just arrives. It's like we do it this way. The continuity starts with his ship landing, kind of like how the DC thing started with Action Comics #1.
Oh, so okay. Now you're saying this. I have a good idea. Because you said he's not coming as a child, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's launched as like he's maybe in his like 20, or something like that, 20s, and he's sent to Earth. To be saved or whatever, and he's aware Krypton is alive and around. There's problems there, but he doesn't really like Earth. He hates Earth, and he really wants to go back to Krypton, and he's willing to sell out Earth for anything to get back to Krypton. But as an adult, he learned to care for the Earthlings and to respect them and to fall in love with that culture there. And
that's good. Yes.
Instead of growing up as a child there, because you get like kind of like brainwashed with the Earth culture, but here he actually has to learn it. It's like a lesson, like understanding other people's problems. And as he's a foreigner now, but he he becomes one of them and connected with Lewis. And
they had a kind of Lewis. What the heck, lad?
Yeah, I was gonna say Lois.
You mean Lois? They did kind of something like that with his daughter in the Frank Miller universe, where he has a daughter with Wonder Woman, but she's super like humans are inferior, and then she grows to love humanity. So that works. I like that. We're gonna do that. Okay, so in terms of Wonder Woman, what if instead of Greek mythology, she's Norse
mythology?
Willing to go far here, I guess, in these changes.
Or she's not a myth whatsoever. No. Here's what we do. She is an Amazon. We keep that part, but what we pick up with her, she has amnesia, like complete amnesia. She has no idea who she is. She just washes up on a beach or something like that. So in other words, we reverse the Steve Trevor thing.
Oh, well, yeah, if you reference the Steve Trevor, that could be cool, but that's interesting.
And
that's going to take work though, because a lot of her character has to do with the Amazon part. So I don't know. I mean,
that's true though. I didn't think about that.
And particularly with the whole Amazon society, Wonder Woman, conflict with man's world, like she kind of becomes like Superman in that regard, like a superhero, not
which is why they belong together.
Yes,
that's the lad right there.
Yeah, I mean, you could I'm just thinking, okay, what if okay, if you're really willing to go out there,
it's our universe.
Instead of being set up by, well, this overlaps into some writing ideas I've thought of for certain side projects, but like, what if the Amazon civilization was not created by like the gods or whatever, or some kind of magical or spiritual type of thing, and instead a scientifically advanced civilization tried to engineer it into existence, and then they use their super science to enhance the genes of its population, which is why Amazons are like super strong or whatever, have powers, so on and so forth. I guess that wouldn't really, I mean, it would change the backstory, but it wouldn't really matter. But I don't know.
I think what we're doing is that the universe has been established, and we just shift the stories we're telling to our new Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know how I'd work that in. Like maybe an ancient advanced civilization that was otherwise wiped out, but then the remnant is the Amazon.
Here's an idea.
Yeah.
Here's an idea, and this explains why she has powers similar to Superman. What if the Kryptonians have been to Earth before, and the Amazons are just a splinter group of Kryptonians that hated men?
Yes, you could combine that with my idea. Yes, that it's an engineered.
There you go.
Amazon society.
There you go.
That is sick.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I would write that.
Yeah.
I gotta write that fan fiction. That'd be so dope.
Yeah. That would be.
Because it explains why she has similar powers.
Yeah. They have similar power sets, the strength level.
We thought they were from Greek myths, but it turns out they were just early Kryptonians sent to Earth.
Yeah, or some half-breed between human and Kryptonian maybe, or something, or an experiment by Kryptonian or Kryptonians themselves.
And they could have been the inspiration of Greek myths and stuff like that.
Yes, because that's what they did in Marvel and the MCU, that they made the Asgardians. People thought they were gods, but they're actually aliens.
Getting into that ancient alien zone. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Are we keeping... I think we got Wonder Woman down. What about Batman?
Okay.
Now, if we're making him younger, I think what we should do is not do what DC did, because what DC did is made him younger, but then said all those past awesome Batman stories that you remember reading, they still happened.
Yeah, there's no time for them.
We'll retell them in the continuity, but we're just gonna not say they just happened. But by the way, we have less than a minute left on the thing, so if we lose out, I'll resend you guys an invite.
Gotcha. I mean, I feel like
that's the one thing we can't change, though.
Disbelief. Yeah, it's hard to make Batman younger because his powers are really based on skill, which you have to gain over time. But that could be kind of cool, though, if other heroes were younger than him and he was almost like a mentor figure or something, a predecessor. Is he the first one?
You could keep him at like 35 or so, and then everyone else is in their 20s, and that's why he's the leader of the Justice League. He's been doing it for so long.
Yeah. It could be a cool idea. But maybe you could do a younger Batman, but you'd just be more green.
That's true. Which would be interesting too, to see how it's like he's just coming into being Batman by the time all these heroes all of a sudden show up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that. What about the Flash? Lad, you know the most about the Flash of all of us.
Flash would be an interesting one where we probably have it probably has some connection to a previous version of the Flash, just because like maybe he can escape the time rewriting continuity thing. Like maybe he has some person.
Wait,
maybe we shouldn't change him too much.
I got this. So what if we do the whole rewriting of time, but it's like Wally West, and he's the only one who knows what everything was like beforehand.
Could be something like that.
He was not affected by a mind wipe or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like we just take a Flash and we're back. Hope you enjoyed all of our ads. All right.
Commercial messages.
So as I was saying, okay, so basically what we do is we take like one of the Flashes in the Flash family. Lord knows there's so many now.
Yep.
And we put him or her, whichever one, in this new Earth, and he was like somehow when the multiverse at the end of Crisis, he was moved over.
Yeah. Maybe
that could be interesting but that would take over his character though, because he would be that guy who knew about the Crisis and the new multiverse. So he wouldn't. it'd be harder for him to have like plot lines that are more about him. He'd be better on a team with like Justice League or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, unless we did like what if we did the new Flash character? That's the main storyline focus is actually a brand new character we make up, but there's also like kind of like a mentor figure, but more like he's trying to find this other. He finds like there's another speedster out there, and it's actually like Barry Allen. He's like really old, but he's survived, you know, like the time change or whatever. And so our speedster is a brand new character, new backstory. Unlike, you know, Batman or Wonder Woman, this is like a brand new character we make up. Mm-hmm. But there is that Barry Allen presence where he's kind of like the Luke Skywalker of the sequel trilogy, where
except he's actually cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's an idea. 2 Flashes, and that could be some interesting story.
That could be actually pretty cool, because that way we don't piss people off that we replace Barry Allen in the Justice League.
Yeah, because that could give us some more freedom to make the the speedster character.
Should we keep the Green Lanterns as is and just restart it? What if Cruz we make it so someone else other than Hal Jordan is the first Earth Green Lantern?
That could be.
I never know anything about the Green Lanterns, man. I don't know. I mean, I kind of know the basic things, like they exist and they have the oath and they're a military organization, but like.
Yeah, it's like they're essentially space cops, and then so it's like for some reason there's like 5 of them at Earth. They actually explain it because Earth is the center of the universe, so they need more protection for Earth, because if Earth goes, all the other planets go because reasons.
Interesting.
It's like what Marvel has a similar thing also.
We'll get to Marvel, but so we can like have like maybe like Jon Stewart be the first Earth Green Lantern, or Guy Gardner. That'd be really hilarious. This Guy Gardner, in case you're wondering, he's like basically the least serious Green Lantern there is. He's like Deadpool if you were a Green Lantern.
You could have a Green Lantern named Guy Gardner, but he could be like a total Chad and like be like the best Green Lantern ever. That'd be it. Yeah.
Oh, man. So in case we can do this, so we have the core JL now. I think we should add in, because everyone's going to expect Aquaman and maybe a Manhunter and Cyborg, but I think we should put in 3 characters that traditionally aren't on the league to like to like have some fresh faces in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather Aquaman actually, if we're just briefly mention it, Aquaman started off as like Avengers level threat for like one of the comic line arcs, where like he's actually like a threat. And
he's the reason why the league comes together.
Maybe something like that. Yeah, like he's like.
What if he starts off as a giant fish? That's why he can talk to fish. I was only kidding. That's not real.
More fishy looking. I mean, I could see that like Aquaman actually being more of like he's a brutal underwater kind of ruler. And maybe like he turns good eventually, right? But he starts off as a villain. Like what do you?
So in Justice Aquaman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so kind of like that. I like that. He's the villain, and then that way he gets a nice redemption arc.
Yeah, you could do something like that. I feel like that could work.
Yeah, we'll go with that, because Lord knows the underwater world is always trying to invade the surface world.
Yeah, we got enough heroes already. We don't really need Aquaman on the team, and
we could loosely. This can be our first like adaptation of a story, because we had the Throne of Atlantis storyline from the new 52. Obviously, we would change it up a lot.
Yeah.
But we would call it Throne of Atlantis or something like that. And then let's see. The only part we would keep is that Superman and Wonder Woman go on a date. That's what we would keep.
I think we said Batman and Wonder Woman was.
No, we didn't.
New continuity.
I have the recording. We didn't. So anyway. So yeah, Aquaman's a bad guy. What if we do? Let me see. Nightwing.
Man, why can't Robin be on the league?
I was wondering that, Nightwing, but you'd have to kind of change some of the fundamentals of the Dick Grayson.
I got it.
The
Booster Gold.
Want to take it as seriously as.
That's true. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Oh boy.
Just have the buddy cops on there.
Oh man.
And let's see. Who would be Who would be the one thing no one would expect to be on the league?
Oh, I don't know.
You could have well, we've talked about Aquaman being a hero who's actually a villain here. What if there's a villain who starts as a hero and then has a kind of fall into madness, and that person's on the League initially, but falls out.
Let me see.
But who would be the right guy?
I like that. We're doing that, but who would be the villain? Maybe. Let's see. Deathstroke. Well, actually, he's a mercenary, so.
But the issue there is that I think it's the same issue with Nightwing, is that then you have multiple like no powers guys who kind of have similar ways.
You already have Batman.
Hey, the Avengers have plenty of no power guys.
Yeah.
Black Widow with her little pistols can handle anything.
Yeah, but at least they have like a different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to like Batman can do everything, so I feel like any other guy would be getting one up by Batman
because he's Batman.
That's right. But yeah, well, then again, they could be very similar on purpose. Well, okay, you could do just like what I mentioned last time. You could have a Deathstroke start out as good, do similar things to Batman, and even have them work together statistically. But
here's the problem with Deathstroke. His allegiances change depending on who pays the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We could do Cheetah.
Maybe.
Because the way they did in the comics is Maxwell Lord started off good and then he turned evil. So we wouldn't use Maxwell Lord.
Cheetah could work because that would hit two birds with one stone, because you'd have our villain turning evil, or our hero turning into a villain, and then on top of that we'd have that'd give us two female members of the League, so we're not down to one.
Here's the story: she actually does not have powers. She's just really good at martial arts like Batman, but she always wanted superpowers. So she goes out and finds whatever makes her cheetah, and then it corrupts her mind, and that's how she becomes bad.
That's interesting. That's an interesting one. Yeah,
man, I gotta write this story. This would be so dope.
Yes.
All right. So let me see. I think that's two, or is that one? Is that one more League member? I think we have two more.
Yeah, we have
perfect
Cheetah. So yeah, we still need the other two, unless if we're doing Booster Gold and
that
Booster Gold
leaves space for Jaina and Jason. No, yeah, I think it's Jaina and Jason. No. The Wonder Twins. I forget their names.
We're not putting the Wonder Twins in.
That leaves just enough space for them.
That would be. I mean, you could redo them and make like a new thing. I don't know enough about it.
Make them super metal with mohawks and all that. Yeah. Jason Momoa plays with the male Wonder Twin instead of Aquaman.
Yeah. No, the Wonder Twins. Sorry, they'll have to stay on the bench, I guess.
What if we do someone from the multiverse? Like, let's see. Who would be a good multiverse person?
Well, you mean like they go to an alternate universe and then recruit somebody from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about in the alternate universes where, well, I love the morality flipped alternate universes where they go recruit a good villain from there.
Good idea.
So, like, good Joker, good Lex Luthor, good.
There's no good.
Good whoever.
Maybe good Lex Luthor.
Yeah. That would be an idea there. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so we have our League. So I figured the story is for the incident that brings them all together. It would be like Atlantis invades, and then one by one, you see all the superheroes are like spun up because they're like, okay, Atlantis is invading. We have that classic scene of Superman pulling his shirt open, and it's like this invasion is happening like maybe like a couple of years after he lands. So he's been on Earth hiding among us for a while. And then all of a sudden, it's like he shows up. He starts fighting some bad guys, and all of a sudden, it's like Wonder Woman shows up, and he goes, he goes, I didn't know he's like, well, I'm starting to like humanity more and more.
No, unacceptable.
No. What if no. He sees Wonder Woman, and then she recognizes the S symbol. He goes, "You're a Kryptonian."
Could be something like that.
That could be it. But do the Amazons keep it well, that's actually a question I've been wondering. How far back was the Amazon civilization settled and created? And do they even like remember have records as far back as to the settling?
as Kryptonians? Like, do they know that they're Kryptonians, or just
in this Earth? Yeah, they know they're Kryptonians.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, that's something.
In our Earth, yes. In our Earth, yes.
Yeah. Well, if you did want to put a love plot for those two, then yeah, that would give you the perfect like entry point, which is that they're both Kryptonians, and Superman's like, what? There's other Kryptonians on this planet?
Yeah, because in the New 52, Superman's parents were warriors. What if his house, the House of El, was like the greatest warriors of Krypton? And that's how she knows that S symbol, because it's in all of her history books. That's where we get in kind of the mythology part.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
So they fight. All of a sudden, like, one of our Flashes shows up. Or no, what if Barry Allen suits up, he fights, and then somehow he gets injured, so he has to train the new Flash.
That'd be cool.
Lose his legs or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, make it so he can't run anymore, so he has to train the new Flash.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that. Batman shows up. All the League shows up, and they beat Aquaman. And then at this one point, let me see. All right, so what else would we do here? Okay, so at the end of the invasion, so they throw Aquaman in some sort of super prison. Now, where is the League headquarters? Do we have it in a satellite, in a bunker, on a moon base? We can have it in an alternate dimension. This is DC.
Yeah. A moon base could be a decent idea, being that it would kind of keep the space theme from like the Justice League that, the show that there was, but at the same time it would be a little bit different than a satellite. I don't know, but satellites are still cool. I think that's a good one.
I know they did a moon base in the comics at one point.
Oh, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What if they did? Let me see. I was gonna say underwater, but then that would get problematic really fast. They already did it. They already did a volcano. What if? Let me see. What else? Where would a headquarters be? We could take what they did in Justice League, and Batman's like, "Hey, my house is large enough." And they all live at Wayne Manor.
Yeah, I mean, they could use the Batcave.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they could have, I don't know, like, they could have a base at the top of a mountain or something, like a really big one, like Everest, since they all have means of scaling a mountain.
Pretty much, yeah, that's true. What if Batman is like, I know I have a couple of like hidden hideout bunkers everywhere. So they go to the mountain one, and then everyone's like, and then we have that scene where the Flash is like, oh, from Justice League, oh, it's like a cave, like a bat cave.
Oh man.
And then Batman's like, I never thought of that. That's a good idea for the name of this place.
Nice.
Now, okay, so who would? So now we have the League. Who would be the Legion of Doom? Who would be on the Legion of Doom?
Well, first of all, who's starting? How does it even get founded? To counter the League?
Wait. What if it started by Black Manta, and on this Earth, Manta breaks Aquaman out?
Aquaman. Oh. Could be like that. Foreign combat Aquaman.
Oh, wait. On this Earth.
Offering Manta some territory.
Wait. What if on this Earth, so in the traditional comics continuity, Aquaman kills Black Manta's father, and that's why Black Manta hates Aquaman. What if Aquaman is Black Manta's father?
Could be done. You could make Aquaman older. Like, it doesn't have to. Aquaman could be like in his 40s or something.
Yeah.
But why would Black Manta fight with like technology and stuff when Aquaman, as would normally be depicted, just using his strength and like Atlantean weapons?
That's true. Actually, I never thought of that.
And then of course you're gonna have to make Aquaman black because you can't make Black Manta white. So I mean, not that that's a problem. But...
Oh, I got it. So what if during the actual Throne of Atlantis fight, Aquaman is fighting Cheetah and tells her, he's trying to tempt her to come over to the other side So he promises her superpowers. She breaks him out.
Do something like that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Does Cheetah start the Legion of Doom? Should she get inspiration from the
she
Justice
breaks
League?
him out. She breaks him out so Aquaman can form the Legion of Doom. Because remember, the League is what beat him. So he figured if we can't win when they're united, why don't we unite?
But I guess that kind of. But I feel like that only half makes sense because Aquaman is already the head of the state. So like. True. It would just sort of be an extension of the great Atlantean Empire, not its own thing, not a secretive organization. He doesn't have to be in secret because he has territory.
We make the big bad Ra's al Ghul.
He's the kind of conniving guy who would be good at that.
Yeah, I know, right? And he runs a shadowy organization, and he knows all these different people. This is where we get Deathstroke in.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, I would almost want then. That we
I got it. The big bad who brings together the Legion is Red Hood.
Red Hood.
In other words, we do Under the Red Hood where he's angry at Batman, except it never gets resolved, and he forms the Legion to take down Batman and the League.
I like that. I give it. I think I like that where it's not the Legion of Doom. We're just trying to like steal. Like money or whatever.
They want to kill the League.
They want to actually specifically wipe out the League. It's like a targeted group. I could see that. That could be kind of a cool idea. That's their goal is to to take out the League, not necessarily to take over like the governments or
because everyone always tries that and they always lose.
Yeah,
we're not making the Super Friends, lad.
But that means that. Of course, you have to understand that writing-wise, that means that the Legion of Dooms, as with its main purpose being to destroy the League, would have members who have vengeances against the League. Like
exactly.
Some villains
that's what I'm
fight
thinking.
the League, but they don't really care about revenge. They're just like, darn it, the League's getting in the way of my stealing operation.
So it could be like...
really driven people.
Yeah, so really driven people. So you could have Captain Cold. It's like somehow the League kills his sister or something like that. Then he gets evil. He wants to kill the League. Then you could have, let me see, who else? Okay, so you could have Joker, probably. Sinestro, because our Green Lantern basically shows him up. Because remember, Sinestro was the greatest Lantern on the normal Earth, and then Hal Jordan shows up and replaces him. He gets replaced, and that's where you get. And instead of a yellow Lantern, he's a red Lantern. Rage.
Oh, that could be interesting.
I could see Sinestro with the red.
Yeah. It's just that we can like slightly tweak it a little bit to make the readers realize this is not our Earth that we know so well.
Yeah.
Who else? Who would be one that would have a vendetta against Wonder Woman? Maxwell Lord.
Well, Cheetah when she goes evil, I guess.
Cheetah when she goes evil, it's like Wonder Woman was like really mean to her and says, "You'll never be one of us." Because being Kryptonians, my idea here in this world is that the Kryptonians have a superiority complex, and they think they're superior to everyone else.
Well, how much of a hero is Wonder Woman then, if that's the case?
Well, obviously, at some point, she changes.
Okay.
She
but
goes
is that
through
before
the
the formation of the League?
It's before the formation with the League. She joins them because I'm sort of combining it with Injustice. She joins it because it's the most like showing of strength.
Interesting.
And mostly because Superman is on the team, but that's beyond the point. You could have so I like Joker. It's like somehow it's like he wants payback for Batman for turning him into the Joker. Because remember, in their first encounter, Batman by accidentally knocks Joker into the vat of acid.
Right, Red Hood. Yeah.
I could see where Joker is not normally evil or insane, but maybe he has some sort of connection with Bruce Wayne. But because of something that Bruce Wayne does, turns him, psychotic and crazy and evil, but it's not necessarily his, like, Joker doesn't necessarily want to be evil.
Got it.
But Batman feels guilty for it because it's not like something he did, or maybe it's something he did intentionally before he was Batman, before trying to save people, but it caused like, this friend of his to become this psychopath.
Here we go. Joker is Thomas Wayne.
Joker's his father.
Yeah, Joker's his father, and then it's like something happened that caused that caused Thomas Wayne to become the Joker.
So, yeah, I could see that. So, and it's something related to. It has to be something that's Bruce Wayne's fault. Something that he did either intentionally or accidentally that caused this to happen. And
I got
Joker,
it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
What if? So you know how Bruce Wayne has that a playboy lifestyle, right? We're keeping that because that is a fundamental part of his character. What if he's drunk, like one day, like really drunk, and his mother's driving him home, and she gets into a car accident, and the father's really angry because he's like, if you wouldn't be so irresponsible, your mother would still be alive. And that one loss, because he feels like to a certain extent he lost his son, and then he lost his wife. That's what snaps him.
Oh, something like you think it's something like that? It's kind of depressing.
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like you know what?
It's
I kind of almost that could really work. I could see that. Like, cause that's kind of what you're a little bit like Injustice, like how
Flashpoint.
In Flashpoint. I'm sorry, where in the Flashpoint universe, the mother becomes Joker because of events that happen.
Because in Flashpoint, so basically what happened in Flashpoint is that Barry Allen created a whole new continuity because he went back in time to save his mother. In this continuity, in Crime Alley, what happened was Bruce Wayne was the one who was shot in that alley by Joe Chill. The father became Batman, except they're Batman with guns, and the mother snapped and became the Joker.
Oh, I heard of this alternate.
That's where I got the idea where flip it and Thomas Wayne becomes the Joker.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That could be. I kind of like that, but I'm actually wondering.
Wait,
what?
I got another idea. So what if? So Thomas Wayne goes crazy because what if Martha's not dead, but she gets severe brain damage, and then she becomes basically Harley Quinn.
That's so depressing.
Oh my goodness.
So in other words, this is where we tie Batman to Joker.
Could be something like that.
That's kind of dark. I mean, he's fighting his parents basically, but who have just gone off the deep end for really no good reason because they're both alive. I mean, I don't know. And I kind of, I have to be honest, I kind of like how the Joker is not intrinsically linked to Batman's past. Like he kind of just met him along the way, but he became his big rival. I almost think there's something unique about that. But then again, we're not trying to recreate the same continuity, but still.
Yeah. But in that line, let's not put the Joker on here. More so because we're trying to make it so each league has only one guy that wants to kill them. Because remember, Red Hood wants to kill Batman.
Okay, good point.
So who would want to kill Superman? Maybe.
Well, you could either have Lex Luthor or you could have Zod.
Evil Lex Luthor. Well, it would get confusing because remember, a good Lex Luthor is on the league.
Yeah. If that's what we're bringing as the good guy, yeah.
The Luthor, Batman who laughs. He's the only one that survives.
What if Doomsday shows up, but like nobody has a clue who he is or where he came from, and he tries to take out Superman at some point and fails. So then he teams up with the Legion of Doom, who don't know that if Doomsday succeeds, he'll probably destroy the entire Earth. But he has a temporary alliance with them.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, he's not a mindless creature like he was in the comics.
Yeah, I like an intelligent Doomsday.
Oh, I got it.
I mean, honestly, I think it is. He is cooler when he's just roaring all minds.
I get.
But I don't know. Or maybe another person from Apocalypse. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. We bring in like Steppenwolf, because remember, so the Apocalyptians live outside of time in the multiverse, so they don't get rebooted.
Oh,
so it's like Steppenwolf comes down and is like, he goes to like Red Hood. I come from an Earth. I mean, I've seen Earths where there's no Batman. And the world is so much better or something like that in order to tempt Red Hood.
Yeah. That could be good. So basically, some guy from Apocalypse could also be. Anybody from
anybody from Apocalypse. That's bad. In that case, we could have one of the female Furies that we have a female for the League. I mean, for the Legion.
Well, don't we already have Cheetah?
Oh yeah, we already have Cheetah.
Yeah.
Because she is going to leave and defect.
Yeah. Did we cover everybody? Wait.
Did we kind of?
Who are the extra people we put on the? Okay, we have the good Lex Luthor. Who's his? Who's his? Is the evil Superman here? I don't know. But,
yeah, I was gonna say evil Superman, but then I'm like, we already have a Superman, so.
It's hard to come up with anything for that. Maybe the current evil Lex Luthor. Maybe you might even have to just invent a villain for him. I don't know.
Yeah, probably would have to invent a new villain. Wait, Maxwell Lord.
No,
they have rival companies.
Yeah. But like, parallel universe Lex Luthor doesn't have a company on this Earth, unless if he replaces the real Lex Luthor. But that doesn't sound very heroic. But then again, maybe
so what if Lord is the head of Lex Industries because he killed Lex, and then the heroic Lex shows up and he's like, and Maxwell Lord's like, I thought I killed you. Now we have to kill you again.
Oh, I get it, because he's scared that if that Lex could claim to be the real Lex, so then it could take the company. Yeah, no, that's a good one.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's solid. Okay, so we got Lex, and who was the other? The Flash. Oh yeah, the Flash is in there. So
we already have the Flash's character.
Yeah, but who's his villain?
Who's his villain? Oh yeah, not Reverse Flash, because that's the first thing everyone would ever say we're gonna use. I think his bad guy should not be a speedster.
Dude, Captain Cold would be
okay. So we're not gonna have some. Oh yeah, you mentioned Captain Cold. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that's who he was.
And then, by the way, if this was actually going to be a comic book line, what I think we should do is that so there's not like a mountain load of books. A lot of the characters would be like side characters in Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and then we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Justice League. And then what we could do is we could have that, except for the villains as well. We have like Red Hood, Ra's al Ghul, and all, it's comics for like the main bad guys.
So comics following the bad guys too for each.
Yeah, I'd really down for that.
That would be kind of cool. And then
exactly.
Of course, the Legion of Doom comic showing their end of the story. You could even you can have it like.
And then finally, Darkseid, a Darkseid comic, because then you can have Steppenwolf is trying to implement Darkseid has this plan that he's going to invade and like to take over the Earth. So he's like kind of like preparing the way for the invasion.
I can see that.
Yep.
He's using kind of like manipulating the Legion of Doom in some way with his you know what? I kind of actually, you mentioned that there would be a person from Apocalypse on the Legion of Doom. What if we just made it that one of them is secretly an agent of Darkseid? It's gonna be a mystery to start, but we see in the Darkseid comic, he's talking, he has plans to take over Earth, and we're starting to get hints of one of the, we know one of the members is actually an agent of Darkseid. We don't know who. And in the Legion of Doom comic book, someone's trying to figure out, like, there's one of like the members of the Legion of Doom, maybe Captain Cold. He's like part of his story that he's trying to find out who on the Legion of Doom is actually an agent of Darkseid trying to infiltrate.
I got it. It's Cheetah. It's Cheetah.
You think it could be Cheetah?
That's why she breaks Aquaman out. That's why she does all the stuff. Oh, no. What if she's always been Cheetah? She can just turn it on and off whenever she wants to. Like she's one of the female Furies. She turned it off, infiltrated Earth, pretended like she was basically the way she was in Wonder Woman 1984, except with karate skills or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she starts like she has all these. She starts influencing the Legion to like partake in certain actions that would cripple Earth.
I could see that. And, Cheetah really makes sense because, there's other creatures on Apocalypse that are very, like, demonic or weird looking.
Yes, exactly.
What's that other guy that has, like, a mane? I mean, who's the guy that has a mane who's, it's
Calabac.
Darkseid? Calabac. Maybe it's something like that where she doesn't actually look like a cheetah, but because she has fur and stuff in her, other form, she's referred to as Cheetah.
What if she's a parademon infiltrator?
Could be something
like that. That's why she can turn it off.
Yeah, that. Except, but she has her own personality. She's not just like one of like the mindless drones.
Yeah, it's not a mind drone thing. Obviously, if she's an infiltrator, she kind of has to have her own personality.
I could see that. I could.
There you go. We got that.
I think that would actually be really fun.
What about the whole idea of a hero from the Justice League going down the villainous path?
That's what we thought was happening the entire time, but she was never a hero.
Yeah, so first she got onto the Justice League and started trying to trick them, but either she had to leave or maybe got ousted.
Because Darkseid was probably like, hey, listen, there are certain things you can't do because remember, at this point, I have this idea: the League has no idea that she's a mole for the Legion of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in other words, they're doing their thing, and she's supposed to be a mole against the Justice League. So everyone thinks she's on her side, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Nope, I'm actually on his side," and then Darkseid invades.
Yeah, but then she can't be in the Legion of Doom. What you could do is have it be that she is in the Justice League first as a mole. Mm-hmm. And then she has to leave for some reason, and it's discovered that she's evil. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that they don't know anything about Apocalypse or that she's from yet.
They don't, yeah, exactly.
So they figure that out, and that's how she gets onto the Legion of Doom. And then that segues into Latin, your idea with like Captain Cold trying to figure out who Captain Cold's playing Among Us or something, trying to figure out who the Legion of Doom guy is, and then kind of pieces it together. That could be a really thrilling
Legion of Doom storyline comic.
That's the Legion. The Legion of Doom storyline is not them doing anything like that. It's all of them. It's like that one one trope that's in every TV show with a team where one of them is a traitor and they're trying to figure out who it is.
Yes.
Should be pretty good.
That's the common thread throughout that comic book series.
That's really because Legion of Doom wants to take out the Justice League and then continue their evil operations on Earth. Yeah. But they know that the Apocalyptian wants to just basically conquer, destroy all Earth, which is bad for them. So it's a Judas among an already evil group, which is what's so.
And then when Darkseid invades,
fascinating one.
And then Darkseid invades, and the League and the Legion have to work together to repel Darkseid. And just figures, you know what? For right now, we're on the same side. After that, we can go back to killing each other.
Could be some sort of scenario like that occurs. Yeah.
Kind of like in the
and then let me see. And then when Darkseid invades, like he drops. So let me see. I'm trying to come up with, because right now the League are the only superheroes. So I'm trying to engineer a situation where the Darkseid invasion would lead to more or less the creation of a lot of the different other characters. Like we could have. Or like say Blue Beetle it gets the Scarab, but it's actually a piece of apocalyptic technology. Well, like it's some exosuit. And then let's see what else. And then let's see. It's like they did so the storyline for the DC Online MMO game is that Brainiac invades and like he has his robots like record all the superheroes' powers. So Lex Luthor goes back in time and sprinkles Earth with these spores that give everyone powers. That's why there's like hundreds of superheroes in that game. So you could do something like that.
Right. Yeah. and it could be all that they kind of sprout up, and then the invasion
Got it
together.
What if so what the spores were supposed to do was turn everyone to parademons, or like to turn all of them on Darkseid's side, but someone sabotages it, and then everyone gets superpowers.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
And then shoot it to Justice League Unlimited.
Created is because nobody's got the technology of Apocalypse.
Yeah, the spores. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
So you're saying this was in the past? That's. That's actually pretty cool. That could actually be really awesome explanation for some of that stuff.
All right. So we kind of did DC. Now I want to switch. Let's reboot Marvel.
Oh boy.
Let's just make it
gonna
MCU.
Be harder because basically MCU. We could do is make it so. Okay, so I'd imagine let's just have it where somehow Scarlet Witch does something and screws with reality. Like WandaVision happens, and then she doesn't stop. Okay, so basically what happens is that in WandaVision.
Whoa!
All right, I won't do that. Wait. So when Hulk snapped at the end of Endgame, it starts off at the end of Endgame. He snapped. In other words, the MCU is up to Endgame is the crisis, and then when Hulk snaps it, they thought they were bringing everyone back, but what they actually did is restarted everything.
Okay. I mean, that really lacks an epic battle, though. But
that's true. Well, yeah. I'm only trying to, because I have let me put it this way. I mean, as much as I know about DC, I know very little about Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, and the MCU still hasn't used the big baddie Galactus or whatever he is.
Yeah, they could do a Galactus invasion. Yeah, Unicron. Yeah, it's basically Unicron.
Yeah. Unicron shows up. The ultimate battle occurs. Somehow reality gets warped. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just basically blow all your cards while you still have time before you restart it.
And then what I would do is I wouldn't change that much about Marvel, but what I would do is I would make it okay. So I've been on this podcast before, and I said I would basically undo all their all new, all different stuff. I wouldn't do that necessarily because some of those characters are actually interesting. Not Miss Marvel. What I would do is I would make it. Oh, I got it. All right. So the Avengers are actually the bad guy. I was going to Avengers the bad guys, but Squadron Supreme are the good guys. But everyone would expect that. Oh, I got it. So this is one more thing we're going to do. Actually, we're going to continue our DC universe in a second, because this is where I bring in my surprise topic. So for the first time, we're going to go into a third segment. So, all right. Are you ready for my surprise topic? So in our new continuity, the Marvel and DC universes have merged.
Okay.
The ultimate merger.
Now, what I thought is like, it's like Captain America is created due to those spores. It's like I mean, obviously Iron Man is not created by spores. It's just basically Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because they kind of had an idea where like the Inhumans deploy a mist that like makes everyone Inhumans. That's kind of where I got the idea from. And then it's like certain things. It's like, actually no. Here's what we could do. It's like there's like a tear in the fabric of reality. It's like at the last like second of the battle, we do like the end game on your left scene. All of a sudden the portal opens, and all of a sudden there's like Captain America wielding Mjolnir. Oh no! All of a sudden, it's like the tear opens, and all of a sudden, Mjolnir itself just flies through, and it comes back into Thor's hand, and then there's the Avengers.
So this would be. So is this for like a crossover necessarily, or like a new origin of a world where both of them coexist, or like a battle between them, or?
I'm still figuring that out myself.
Okay, well, you could have a crisis event on both, and then start a new continuity where heroes just all exist in the world. You just have to find the right way to blend it.
By the way, you are actually sideways.
He's hanging on the wall. He's hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
We found out your superpowers. Okay, Nicholas. We know,
right, there you go.
the truth. You have wall sticking powers.
Yeah, we have the truth.
All right. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Anyhow, yeah, I mean, you just kind of blend them together. But one interesting thing I think is if all the heroes just naturally grow up like somewhere in the world, Superman lands, and somewhere else in the world, Iron Man is starting up his thing. Do they all form one sort of Justice League or Avengers, like the Justice Avengers, or you can have a lot of somehow they have some kind of disagreements on how things should run. So some of the heroes form the Justice League, and some of the heroes form the Avengers.
True. I'm trying to think. How could I merge these together? Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's make it so. Let's actually just merge the traditional DC continuity with the Marvel continuity, because it's a lot easier that way. Trust me. So we could make it
traditional DC. Okay,
yeah, traditional DC, because we already have, quite frankly, a really cool Elseworld story that we just made right there for DC.
Right.
Let's leave that as a DC Elseworld. Marvel in there. That's weird. I am going to write up an outline for that story because that is amazing. All right, so with this, we could make it so somehow the universes have always been merged. It's like somehow, like let's see, we could have like, okay, so what if so Superman emerges and the US government wants their own version of Superman, hence Captain America. Or I was listening to a topic similar to this on another podcast, and they said what you could do is make it Superman crashes pre-World War II, and then the Kents take him but leave the ship. The ship is picked up by the government, and somehow, like Captain America, they get the serum from like Kryptonian technology.
And hence why it can't be recreated.
Hence why it can't be recreated. That'd be interesting. We could do that too. And then we could make it so Iron Man is a direct response to Batman. In other words, let's say Tony Stark views Batman as a threat, and then he becomes Iron Man to fight Batman.
Interesting.
And then Wonder Woman, whenever Wonder Woman fights Power Princess, no one wins. It's just a stalemate because they're both the exact same character, Marvel.
Yeah. What about well, this doesn't have as much to do with the crossover, but what about throwing in some David Banner references for the Hulk? I don't know if you ever heard of that 80s show that was really popular, that live action Hulk show, but it was really, really, really good.
Oh yeah.
If you throw in a few, you don't have to make him the same character, but if you throw in a few references, that'd be pretty cool. But
yeah, it's like the way what is your skin painted green?
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
That's what Deadpool always says. That's the Deadpool joke. He's like, "Oh man, you look like Lou Ferrigno."
Yeah, I never knew what that.
There you go. Because that sounds like something either Deadpool or Gwenpool would say.
Oh
man. My goodness.
Well,
and let's see.
Yeah. What are the crossover stuff? We still have Thor. Okay, well, okay. What if there's a set of Norse gods and then there's a set of Greek gods? Those Thor
and they're at war, they're at war with each other.
Oh, okay, I actually really like that. Yeah,
that's good. That is good. I like that.
Yes, that would be.
We find a good way. That's the key, because when I visualize the like Marvel and DC, I feel like I can't blend them in because I think of the MCU and then I think of like DC. But like you're doing, finding a way to actually fit them together so that they blend well, and I like that. With
that they always
Norse
existed.
gods.
It's not like a crisis brings them together like they've done in the past. They've always existed in one continuity.
Right. I'm just trying in my head to picture thematically how that works, because like I said, the MCU feels very different from like say the DC continuity, but I like what you're doing, kind of having like a war between the different like gods, where they have like the Greek gods and then like the
Oh, I got this too.
Yeah.
Here's how you bring in Wonder Woman and Thor, and it's like to avoid a war, every like I don't know so many years they have like their best. They have two of their people meet on the battlefield for single combat. Not necessarily actually probably to the death.
Oh.
And Wonder Woman is the champion for the Amazons, and Thor Odin's son is the one for the Norse people.
And then they fall in love.
No.
I feel like that's a little predictable, but you could do that.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
It would be a unique, well, not unique, but just because it's like having a
That would be a
love
lad
plot
thing to
between
do.
a Marvel
That'd
character and a DC character would be.
That'd be a lad thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then what we would do, so they fight, and then it's like, so somehow they're like they somehow end up in the normal world because at this point, Wonder Woman has not been to man's world at the time of her battle with Thor.
Mm-hmm. That could be really cool. I could see that. Like they've had a war with like the Greek gods and the then we have like you said the Norse gods, all that. Could you tool it in such a way that the Greek gods are all female? I'm just thinking like
I was wondering about that too.
You make it the Norse are all male and the Greeks are all female.
That's actually nice. That's actually an interesting idea.
I was just wondering about that.
You have to gender swap. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Or you could have it be that the Greek gods believe that have come to believe that male humans are just bad or destructive or something, so they always favor female champions. So it doesn't mean they're all women, but just that.
What we could do is,
and then vice versa with the Norse gods, they think it should always go to the men. So
what we could do is Ares corrupted mankind, like actually mankind.
Yeah.
So hence, which is why everyone at Themyscira is a woman.
Right.
Oh, I got an idea. So what they do is it's like every 100 years, but the battlefield is actually in man's world.
Just decimate the.
They have a battle, and like Superman shows up and goes, "Stop wrecking Metropolis! What are you two doing?"
The taxes are going to go up.
And then Hyperion shows up, and it turns into that one Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you're me. No, I'm you. No, you're me.
Oh man.
I
like that. I really like. I think that might be the key to blending together. Find ones with similar personalities or similar, histories. And I kind of like that. Kind of like a big war between like the gods.
I mean, that would be an amazing plot line in and of itself. Yeah.
Isn't that I would love to see that.
Odysseus, or like the whole
Trojan
with
War.
the Trojan War and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas like different gods were.
Plus, if the battlefield is in man's world, that's how we get them to man's world. Because I was originally thinking just have them battle in like Themyscira or something like that. But then I was like, how do we get them to man's world? Because Wonder Woman has to get to man's world at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see what else. We could have, and the X-Men. Okay, so let me see. How we bring in mutants?
Oh, okay.
You could do it like metahumans.
Genetic experiments.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it the same way.
I got it. So S.H.I.E.L.D. has so S.H.I.E.L.D. exists. Yeah, and it's always been like the government's plan to like try and make their own version of Superman. But somehow they create the mutant gene and then accelerate it in a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And Magneto was the first, which is why he doesn't trust humanity.
Yeah. And you could add DC characters who have mutant origins.
Yeah, exactly.
There too, like Static Shock or something.
Flash.
Yeah, Flash. Yes.
I mean, no, his mutant X thing was like dormant, so that they thought it was a failure with him. But when he was struck by lightning and doused with chemicals, that triggered it.
Oh, that would be really good. Yeah.
That way we can keep his original like origin.
That's having your cake and eating it too. That sounds really good. Oh my goodness, that'd be perfect.
And so let's see, and we could have We could have Aquaman and Namor were like rivals for the Atlantean throne. Kind of like play off the Aquaman Ocean Master thing.
Yeah. Is Namor like a...
He's basically Marvel's version of Aquaman, and he rules Atlantis in the Marvel universe.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
So
well, then
I have to figure out some way to make them fight.
Or
make them exist.
Well, one thing that kind of bugs me is how come there's like what, like a third or a quarter, when a third of the planet is land, right?
Yeah.
And there's over 200 countries. But 2/3 of the planet is water, and there's one Aquaman Kingdom of Atlantis. How come? So they could just be the two dominant powers in the underwater scene. I loved in the Aquaman movie how they kind of had the different
the different kingdoms.
There.
Yeah,
that
works.
That. Yeah,
that works.
And they could even have like a sort of, I don't know, like a cold, like the real life Cold War or something like that between USA and Soviet Union. You have two competing powers. We just have to think of what their ethical differences would be, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Like we could make because already they have ethical differences. Namor is more brutal.
Okay.
And so Aquaman is more like reserved, and he's less brutal than Namor.
Yeah, stern, but not like brutal. Yeah.
Exactly.
And Namor's a little more negative in this light.
And then Cyborg is a Stark experiment that goes horribly wrong.
Oh, that could be an interesting one. Yeah.
It's a piece of technology that like was untested, and Tony Stark tested it anyway, or something like that.
Yeah, that could be good.
Let me see. What else?
What about? I guess I can't think of how this would affect the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, there would be pretty much like, it'd be like, Green Lantern and Nova Corps at war with each other.
I don't know who the Nova Corps are. Is that like
Nova Corps are basically the Marvel Green Lanterns?
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy?
Nope.
Okay, then that makes sense. You wouldn't know who the Nova Corps are.
Yeah.
Then we bring in like a space war. Yeah.
But is the Nova Corps good?
Yeah, they're an intergalactic police force.
Well, this is kind of like, this one might be harder to come up with a reason for them to be at war, though.
Or it could be they're all like one law enforcement entity. It's just the Green Lanterns are like the overall. It's like the Green Lanterns have like their sectors, and then the Nova Corps like overall space.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know, an FBI agent might travel anywhere in the country, but a police officer just works locally.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an interesting idea.
It's about the only way you could do that and make and justify it.
Yeah, like redundancy, yeah.
And then Darkseid invades because he wants the Infinity Gauntlet. He figures we make it so when you snap the gems in the gauntlet, that's how he gets the anti-life equation. Which is
it's by just using the gems to figure it out. Okay, that's the gift.
Yeah. It's like they give great power, but also great knowledge. When you combine them all and put them in the gauntlet and snap your fingers, it gives you that knowledge.
Yes. Well, I hope he doesn't make it as far as Thanos did then in this universe.
Yeah, I know. Then we're screwed. Yeah. But because if you know what the anti-life equation is, we're screwed.
Yep.
Let's see what else could we combine to make it like real to like bring this in. So let me see. What if Teen Titans were like members of the Young Avengers, but they like for some reason had a falling out?
I didn't know about the Young Avengers, but yeah, that could work too. That
they're basically all the young superheroes.
Well, you could go back to what I said at the start, which is that maybe at first all the heroes tried to work with each other, but then somehow there was maybe there was one hero organization, but then somehow there was a big disagreement in how things should be operated or ethics or a certain thing,
True.
and they broke into two, becoming the Justice League and the Avengers, and then the Teen Titans were the young heroes drugged by the Justice League side, and then vice versa for Young Avengers.
All right, so Lad, we have some interesting ideas. I'll fill you in. So here's our origin for the Flash, and it's linked to the origin for the X-Men. So the government was trying to make Supermen. So they create the mutant X gene.
Okay, yeah.
So they infuse it in a bunch of people, and that's how we get the X-Men. But Barry Allen's one is dormant to the point where they think it didn't take on him. But it's the lightning and the chemicals being splashed on him that trigger his mutant gene.
Okay, that's pretty clever, yeah.
And then we have the Nova Corps is the overall space entity, and the Green Lanterns are like individual sectors, like the Green Lanterns are local cops.
Yeah.
And the Nova Corps are like FBI people.
I like that.
What else do we come up with?
That's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, so Aquaman and Namor are from two different kingdoms underwater. Kind of like how in Aquaman the movie, they're all different kingdoms.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, rival powers. Yeah.
And the Teen Titans. I had this idea that so one of the programs that the government was trying to do is like start recruiting kids and indoctrinating them to be loyal to the U.S. government. Because most of the Teen Titans are Americans.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna do that, can we put Spider-Man on the Teen Titans if you're already mixing people together?
Sure.
That would be good.
And the Avengers are the new Suicide Squad like thing. In other words, they're the group that the U.S. government specifically uses.
Well, if we're going with my here's an idea. If we're going with my idea of Avengers and Justice League splitting because of separate ideology, maybe that could be what it is whether or not how much influence maybe the U.S. government or governments in general should have.
There you go.
On
That's
hero
good.
organization.
That's good.
Isn't that kind of what happens in
Civil War?
Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, kind of, and it's the same thing in the comics.
Yeah, and the Justice League,
except they never actually fight because if we're talking about the Justice League versus Avengers, let's be honest, the League is going to destroy them.
Whoa, what?
But it just leads to a complete split in the superhero community. All the Marvel characters go with the U.S. government, or like
I could see
a
that.
government,
right?
And the Justice League want to be more of an independent entity.
Which is why they build their satellites so that they're not on any territory.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not. Yeah, there you go. Space is intergalactic territory.
And then you could have almost have like Amanda Waller as a SHIELD agent, because she's just like how in the Justice League cartoon she was paranoid about the Justice League potentially trying to conquer the Earth like the Justice Lords. It's the same thing where she's paranoid about the Justice League not being under a government control. So then you have more animosity.
You know how Lex Luthor is super untrusting of metahumans? What if Amanda Waller is the Lex Luthor of this universe?
You could do that.
That would be good.
No, I got it. So we go with Lex Luthor being POTUS, and like she is one of his advisors. She's the Secretary of Metahuman Affairs.
Oh, okay, that could work.
And and like underneath her purview is like another member of the cabinet is SHIELD, and SHIELD is the body under which the Avengers operate, like normal, pretty much. And then so they basically tell the Justice League. So he tells Amanda Waller, okay, so because we keep the Lex Luthor part where he's paranoid of metahumans and he thinks the League being in a satellite above him could be a threat. Here's how we get the Avengers. He tells Amanda Waller, we need our own team of heroes.
Right.
So we get the metahuman gene, and that's how we get like, and then she's like, well, we had in hypersleep or like somewhere they just discovered Captain America frozen in ice.
Right.
And then she contracts Tony Stark to like equip everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm liking this. So, yeah, and they get their own team. This is
This is so great. I would read the crap out of this comic.
Yeah, I would think this would be really awesome. Yeah, and then you kind of have the contention, because you have the Marvel versus DC, of course, through this, but you also have like the ideological contention, which is interesting too. And maybe you could have a few characters who kind of break ranks. So a few Marvel guys who go with the Justice League, and a few DC guys who go with the Avengers that are kind of more with the government.
Like the Punisher is more like the League is right.
Yeah.
Like you have the Punisher who switches sides. Maybe let me see who else would switch. Black Widow, because she's like brutal anyway.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner, I think, would switch because he doesn't trust the U.S. government for obvious reasons.
But who would go from what DC hero would be more inclined to side with the government?
Maybe Cyborg.
I hate to say Superman because like truth, justice, and the American way, but if you take him away from the Justice League, then how can you call that the Justice League? Like
Superman has to stay. In other words, we're making the League like they don't trust any government.
Yeah. So
that's why they have the satellite. So I was thinking, so we can have Cyborg flip over. We could have. Let me see. Who else could we have? Martian Manhunter, maybe because because he wouldn't trust the U.S. government because he's an alien. Maybe Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, because he's a military guy.
Yeah, he's a soldier. Yeah, that's
and he was in the U.S. Air Force, so he has an intrinsic loyalty to the United States.
Yes, that's an interesting idea.
Maybe the Wonder Twins decide to join in.
Stop with the Wonder Twins!
Just so they can gain relevance.
I don't know why
they're like, we want to become important, so we're gonna join the Marvel team because DC gives us no love.
Here's what we do. And then there's a massive threat that unites both groups as one army, and that is Thanos and Darkseid teaming up.
What if it was actually like SJW writers that were threatening to rewrite continuity and reality, and they had to team up and stop them from rebooting everyone.
That's the crisis on BS.
That would be
SWC, Social Justice Crisis.
Social justice crisis.
No, but all right. So lad, with Thanos and Darkseid actually wants to kill Thanos because the way we rewrote it is that when you have all 5 of the gems and snap your fingers with a gauntlet, it also gives you all knowledge. So it's like the Mobius chair.
Okay.
So Darkseid wants to do that so we can get the anti-life equation.
There we go. Okay. I like that.
So it's like they team up for a little bit, but then until like the gauntlet shows up, and then they have a battle over who would win. Then they would do the Darkseid war thing.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to make it that they're kind of like rivals with each other. Maybe Thanos
and then the whole story ends with one person snapping, and then the universes go back as 2 separate entities, and we make this thing like some things aren't meant to be combined.
Yeah, like Superman and Wonder Woman.
No, stop it!
Thank goodness.
And then both sides have no memory of what happened. They have no memory of even being in one universe, and this is how we have the 2 different universes.
Yeah, you could do something. I'd like something like that. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Let me see. Now, it would be a good. So if we're ending it with the universes being separated, how did they get combined?
I figured the continuity just started off with them all living together. Like it's
that's
not
true.
Like
yeah, actually, that's better.
It's like a prequel to the DC and Marvel universe we know today.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like instead of things weren't meant to be combined, some things weren't meant to coexist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
could be that the universes were combined, but they were combined before any history, before anything. Like basically, they figured out that their
any
entire
continuity.
Universe, like, okay, there just we have these 2 universes, then the next iteration after Crisis, then the next, and then in the iteration after that, they're one, which it's always been one, that particular universe. But then at the end, the heroes figure out that they actually weren't always one, and that there had normally been two multiverses at once.
That happened.
And then somebody uses the gauntlet to restore that situation for some reason.
The whole thing of them of the universes combining, and then all of a sudden them realizing it was supposed to be separate. That actually happened in like the last Marvel DC crossover.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that legit happened.
Oh,
the last one was like in the 90s. It was like JLA Avengers.
I didn't know.
They could do. Let me see. What else could they do? So to
For what? Final Crisis?
Yeah. Okay. So and then the crisis actually would probably the separating would probably be like Superman going, or like one of the characters having the gauntlet and going put things in like the most perfect way it could be. This is separate universes, and then the source wall.
Batman and Wonder Woman become
a
couple. Black Widow and Hulk become a couple.
Stop it!
And Rey and Kylo Ren also become a couple.
That's not in this universe. And then right between them is the source wall.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
because
fine.
It's always been like teased by DC writers. On the other end of the source wall is the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard of that, but that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So that's how we do it. That's how we establish that, and it's been like that forever.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Forever. Because Marvel and DC, they have crossed over before, and they do reference each other sometimes. Like you showed me that comic book, Jared,
in Doomsday
where they
Clock,
say like.
Doomsday Clock. It's just, so basically, what they say, Nicholas, is that there's this thing where like Dr. Manhattan resets reality again, and there's like in the future Superman will fight Thor, the god of thunder, and like a big green behemoth stronger than Doomsday, and I'm like, there's only two people that could be. And there's this one point, and it's like, and Marvel has the same thing. And like, there was this comic where like Lockjaw from the Inhumans teleports into is teleporting throughout the multiverse. He travels to this one world, and then there's a woman. I always see them is from like the knee down, except it's a woman wearing boots, and she has a lasso on her hip, and there's a dude with a cape right next to her, and we're like, okay, I see what you're doing there.
Oh my goodness.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then we tease, and then there's like a tease of a future crossover where like the last few panels is them zooming in on the source wall, and then you see a little crack form.
Oh, that would be a good little ender there. Yeah.
Just like, the crack. It's a small crack.
Yeah, I feel like you have to have something like that. Yeah.
And then the next crossover is a legitimate war between the two universes. Like we make it so if something happens where both sides hate each other.
Well, you could do it where like Dragon Ball Super style, where there's multiple universes, and they have the tournament of power where you have competitors from each universe, and whichever side loses overall has their universe wiped out, threatened.
Yeah, we do what they did in Marvel's Contest of Champions.
Also in Jimmy Neutron the movie.
Also there.
What?
The Jimmy Neutron movie also, that was like lots of people from different worlds also.
Actually, no. What we do is we don't do it like there's a tease of a war. So we zoom in on the crack, and then something leaves the source wall, and it's a big planet with teeth on it.
Oh,
I'll let you know who this is. It's a yellow planet with teeth on it.
Yellow.
It's Unicron.
The teeth.
Also, it's rolling in the Transformers.
Here, look, I'm gonna share my screen for a second. Let's see. Let me see.
If not, I can allow you to do that.
Yeah, let me try doing this to get you full screened. All right. We need to host disabled participant screen sharing. Rip.
Share applications. When can I share? Can I share directly with Zoom side by side mode? Share screen. Where's the who can share button?
It's not the end of the world though.
What were you trying to show?
I was gonna show something I sent you before, Jared, where another franchise that was in the DC universe, but I'll save.
Oh yeah.
I'll save it.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll put the picture on in front of my camera. So this is what Lad sends me.
Yeah.
It took me a second to realize what it was. So, hang on. I gotta find the picture. Did you do it through text, Lad?
I think I sent it to you through text. Yeah, I think I may have.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is great. All right, so here's a panel from Green Lantern. What do you notice that's circled?
A gold coin. That's really lopsided.
What's shown on the gold coin?
Too hard to tell from this.
Yeah, we may have to pull it up on the image screen as well. Here,
I'll do it. Hang on.
I have the link. I'll just text it into the Zoom meeting chat here. There you go, Jared. I just sent it now. Just hit that link and then.
Yeah, I'll share to my thing so that so the people watching can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just let me. Yeah. So basically, what Lad sent me, and DC published these comics, so legally they're allowed to do this. Okay, so desktop 3. So what we have is this thing right here, people. Oh, hang on, and then.
Since when have been let of us?
For a long time. All right, so what that is, so they crossed over with Bionicle.
Can you zoom in more? It's like so tiny for some reason.
Yeah, you try to full screen that.
Hang on. If I full screen it gets like Bionicle.
Oh my god! Wait, so that's in a Green Lantern comic?
Yeah.
What is that? An alternate universe in a bubble? And that's the Bionicle one?
Probably.
Something like that, because all of the let's see right here. I'll pull up my nice comic book. All of the Bionicle comic books were made by down here. DC. They were published by DC.
I had no clue.
So technically they're like, DC publishes things other than their main continuity, right?
That should be another episode. How are we rolling Bionicle?
So it's funny because in that Green Lantern comic, they show like lots of different worlds and stuff, like they're watching, and that little pixelated cameo shows like a few of the a couple of the original Toa lying around in there. So
holding up the sword like that. So it's that exact
like
pose.
this. I mean,
that's awesome.
It's funny.
So basically, what they're showing us is that the DC universe takes place during Mask of Light.
Yeah, confirmed. It's confirmed.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be a good thing to cover for the show, the Bionicle comics.
Yeah.
It's published by DC. I did the Halo comics.
Yeah. It's true.
All right. So I think that's about.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Our multiverse isn't done yet. We haven't worked in Goku. How's Goku getting this?
I have no idea. So we have Goku versus Superman. We need to have Goku versus Superman, right? The ultimate.
Yeah.
We might as well in that case, we might as well throw in One Punch Man at this
Marvel
point.
And DC to come together. You can get Akira Toriyama to allow Goku in there.
I want to cross over with G.I. Joe also.
They exist in the same continuity as Transformers, so
then we'll just throw Transformers in too.
Yeah.
We'll have One Punch Man show up.
Yeah. I don't know if I've told you, Jared, but I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z junkie. I watched every episode.
I figured.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
I will cover that at one point because at some point it is some way loosely associated with DC or like so one of these. I'm going by.
You could talk about the Goku versus Superman debate.
Now that would actually be really cool because Jared knows a lot about Superman. Nicholas knows a ton about Goku. And I could moderate this and explain why Batman's actually the real winner. But aside from that,
well, that's true because he's Batman. He has. The secret is hidden in the Batcave is an anti-Goku suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the anti-Goku.
Yeah.
But I'd be cool. I could moderate your two discussion and like make it like like a debate. You guys have like suits or something, and you guys have.
We could also have we could also have a debate on why Batman Wonder Woman doesn't work.
Oh.
Oh my goodness gracious! I guess
I can see Lad cry as I list off all the facts of why Batman Wonder Woman makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, all relationships have a little bit of nonsensical, and you don't know always why you're interested in somebody. I don't see what's wrong with it.
Here's why: because Wonder Woman is based upon truth and like lightness and dark, where Batman lies. Superman is pretty much made for Wonder Woman.
That's
plus
it's
with
all
Superman.
About
here's
that
the thing.
boy appeal.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it this way: Wonder Woman was raised from a society that taught her historically that men are evil and men are like selfish and they will hurt you. Superman is the complete refutation of that argument.
That's true.
So in other words, Superman is her window seeing, oh man, aren't evil.
That's true.
Yeah, or she could justify it that he's a Kryptonian or something. I don't know.
Well, let's be honest. It's about to. He's probably the only person she could probably have kids with. There's a reason why whenever Wonder Woman has kids, it's always with Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never known any.
Batman and Wonder Woman have never had kids.
I can imagine that, but has Batman ever had?
Wonder Woman BTFO.
Batman has had kids, dude, because in the Earth 2 comic storyline, I'm gonna say this and then we'll log off. Huntress was actually from Earth 2, and she was the daughter of Batman and Catwoman.
Oh, okay. Okay, and is Damian Batman's son, or yes?
I don't know how Damian fits in the New 52. All right, well, anyway, before Zoom logs off, Nicholas, always a pleasure having you on the show. We hope to have you back real soon.
Yep.
Lad, always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was really fun. I think we had some lively discussion and actually some pretty interesting ideas.
Hope you guys enjoyed all of our universe forging. And if we're wrong, just drop in the comments. All right, everyone, stay heroic.
See ya.
See ya.